We know about the corruption of the Biden family. What we see is that the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, the Department of Justice, the IRS, at every stage of the way, they protected Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
Yes, Miranda Devine, the great reporter, who ought to be she should probably have the Nobel Peace Prize, shouldn't she? She should have every award known to man. Lucite blocks should litter her way everywhere she goes. Golden statuettes. But instead, she doesn't receive any journalistic awards, Miranda Devine, for all of her great reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop, for which she was vilified by her colleagues in the broader corrupt news media. Miranda Devine this morning was on O'Connor and Company on WMAL in Washington, my mothership radio station. And Larry O'Connor asked her, well, have any of the reporters that wrote scathing reviews of your reporting, have any of them apologized to you? And, of course, the answer is no. None of the corrupt fake reporters who did get awards and prizes for their corrupt reporting on false stories like Russian collusion and reporting saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. They wrote all this disinformation, this misinformation, this fraudulent stuff, not journalism, but propaganda for the radical left wing, the Democrat Party destroying the world, starting with the United States of America. But Miranda Devine, no awards for her, no Pulitzer for her, even though she's the one that earned and deserved the Pulitzer. And she had to put up with all this stuff from these fake reporters, right? And Miranda Devine, now there she is. Last night she was on with Sean Hannity on the Fox News Channel and talking about how the FBI and the CIA, the intelligence community, the Department of Justice, the permanent bureaucracy, they all protected Joe Biden and the Democrat Party from the truth. They wanted to make sure the truth didn't get out because the FBI leadership is corrupt as hell. The Department of Justice under Merrick Garland, corrupt as hell. Merrick Garland is corrupt as hell. And we should be thankful that he did not ascend to the Supreme Court, where the filthy Krupnik would be undoing Western civilization. Remarkable stuff. But Miranda Devine on this morning on WML, no awards for her, and no apologies from her colleagues that smeared and slimed and slandered her. And these colleagues that got awards like Pulitzers and things for writing fake stories that were lies, filled with lies, and they got the awards at home. They have the golden statuettes and the lucite blocks. Miranda Devine does not. But anyone that knows that Miranda Devine is the real journalist, the real reporter, the real truth seeker and truth teller. And she's wonderful, notwithstanding that British accent she has. We'll have to just cut her a little slack for having that British accent. I don't think it's her fault. And her new book, The Big Guy, by Miranda Devine, all about the Biden family corruption and all the millions that came into the Biden family coffers in exchange for what? Well, Ukraine funneled millions to the Biden family through Burisma and otherwise, and now they're getting hundreds of billions in return. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? How a President and His Son Sold Out America, The Big Guy by Miranda Devine. And I believe it comes out today. Today is the release date, I believe. Amazing stuff. You may remember that Joe Biden bragged about making sure that a Ukrainian prosecutor was fired. And all this just gets swept under the rug, right? Viktor Shokin was the head. He is almost like the Attorney General of Ukraine, and he was investigating corruption at Burisma. But unfortunately for Shokin, Burisma was paying millions to the Biden family. So Joe Biden went into Ukraine and demanded that they fired, blackmailed, extorted quid pro quo, told them that he would see to it. Joe Biden said that they would not get $1 billion in loan guarantees, courtesy of the United States of America, unless they fired Viktor Shokin, who was investigating corruption at Burisma Gas Company. Burisma Gas Company had Hunter Biden on their board where he had no duties at all, but they paid him $1 million a year, along with his buddy, Devin Archer, who was later convicted of shaking down and robbing an American Indian tribe, a Native American tribe, of tens of millions of dollars. And all of this is just fine. At the Washington Post and the New York Times, they don't even know about this because, as I like to point out, they don't follow the news. They don't know what's going on. But Joe Biden, Biden family corruption, the big guy, the emails in the laptop revealed that, and Tony Bobulinski revealed that Joe Biden is the big guy. That was their shorthand, their code name for Joe Biden. Big guy gets a 10% cut.
I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired.
And the crowd laughs. The corrupt, filthy, corrupt Democrats who are corrupt. Did I mention that they're corrupt? They laugh. Isn't that great? You got the Ukrainian prosecutor fired that was investigating millions of dollars going to your family as part of his investigation. And that is the phone call that President Trump made to Ukraine to ask about the millions going to the Biden family from Ukraine and to ask why are you guys funneling millions to the Biden family? And the Democrats impeached Donald Trump for asking. Remember that? And we had that Army Lieutenant Colonel turn on President Trump, and Vindman turned on President Trump, Alexander Vindman, and now Vindman's brother is running for Congress just to bring their Ukrainian-style corruption to Capitol Hill. You know, they're both Ukrainian. They're twin brothers, so naturally they're both the same heritage. But Vindman, Ukrainian-American, and his brother, Ukrainian-American, sabotaged President Trump, went in and said, oh, yeah, his phone call was completely inappropriate. No, he was looking into government corruption. But if you look into government corruption, then the deep state fascists like Alexander Vindman take you down, the treacherous, treasonous, traitorous Ukrainian who was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army at the time, a deep mole. What was that movie with a naval officer was a Soviet spy in Washington and the Pentagon and stuff? Because Vindman was that guy, and he sabotaged President Trump. And the Democrats impeached him for asking about Biden family corruption. No Way Out. No Way Out was the name of the movie. With who was it? It was Kevin Costner was the Soviet agent, naval officer, right? That's right. Alexander Vindman is that guy. He's Kevin Costner from No Way Out, and he was incredibly successful as a foreign agent. He sabotaged and undermined the president of the United States, leading to his impeachment because he asked about actual corruption. President Trump made a phone call to ask about actual corruption, which we now know to be Biden family / Ukrainian corruption. Why would Burisma pay $1 million a year to Hunter Biden for nothing? Does he have a background in the natural gas business? Does he speak Ukrainian? Had he ever been to Ukraine? Has he been to Ukraine yet today? The answer, no, no, and no. And his buddy Devin Archer also getting $1 million. It's just this much shy of $1 million each that they got for being on the board of Burisma, where they didn't have to do anything. And, then Joe Biden has to fire the state prosecutor who's investigating corruption at Burisma. What? President Trump asks about it, and the left in the United States impeaches him. Wow. Not Joe Biden and the Biden family, not the big guy. No, no. Amazing stuff. Corruption is rampant in the United States of America because the left is here. And Volodymyr Zelensky in the United States today getting hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars more for the never-ending war with no peace process ongoing. But all the arms contractors in the United States love Joe Biden, and they love Hunter Biden, and they love Volodymyr Zelensky. because the gravy train is rolling. Woo, woo. Hey, boy, I am telling you. And Volodymyr Zelensky's in the United States attacking J.D. Vance, calling him too radical. Really? J.D. Vance should find him and, pop him one in the nose. I got here. I'm too radical. Here you go. Take that, Ukrainian furball. I mean, to insult all the Ukrainian people, just Volodymyr Zelensky and his fellow travelers. Yeah, and he's honestly, and President Trump also, and some Republicans on Capitol Hill wanted to attach, a bunch of Republicans on Capitol Hill actually, wanted to have some strings attached to the last shipment of $61 billion. They just called it $60 billion because $1 billion is a rounding error, and the money that the Biden machine is giving to Ukraine for the never-ending war, right? And some Republicans said, well, wait a minute, before we sign off on this, we ought to make sure that we monitor where the money's going to see to it that we're not all being robbed. And the Democrats practically burned the place down. They were breaking chairs and attacking people. No, there will be no accountability. We have to make sure there's no accountability. And the Democrats made sure that there was no accountability when it came to $61 billion going to Ukraine, because the Democrat Party is profoundly corrupt. Profoundly corrupt. Amazing. All right, we've got a lot to get to. We've got audio for you. We've got stories for you. We have, why is Joe Biden still president? And have you seen that they won't let young girls on stage with Joe Biden anymore because it took him years and years to figure out that he's a creep. They should keep his own daughter away from him. He might try to shower with her again. Creepy boy. But an actual story the New York Post has, Biden's staff they won't let him talk to young girls on stage at events. And then Joe Biden says, I'm going to do it anyway. Not that he's, like a creepy guy with long fingernails or anything like that. But amazing stuff. And of course, Zelensky used U.S. military assets to campaign for Harris in Pennsylvania. And he's attacking J.D. Vance. I got to tell you, things ought to change. Big changes ought to be coming. So we've got that update on Israel, too, sending more troops to the Middle East because the Democrats and war, World War III might be ongoing right now. But pay no attention to that. I got MSDNC for you, and I got a little weather. I got a little climate for you, too. But right now, let's see, it's where are we going? We're going to Bill calling from Savannah, Georgia. William, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Thank you.
Bill put us... Where is he? Bill? Uh-oh. And he's gone. Bill had some problems with his phone, attacked him. Very sad, calling from Savannah, Georgia, where they make the Gulfstream jet, the beautiful Gulfstream jet. Wanted to talk to Bill, but something terrible happened. Maybe Zelensky got to him. What do you think? Oh, no, maybe not Zelensky. It could be polonium-210. No. But maybe Bill. Maybe Bill will be back. Maybe Bill will be back. My baby back ribs. Hey, did you know that if left untreated, AFib, atrial fibrillation, can increase your risk of stroke and of heart failure? You might have known that. AFib runs in families, so if somebody in your family has it or, has had associated issues, your chance could be higher of developing AFib. That's why you should check out the new KardioMobile Personal EKG by AliveCor. It's FDA-cleared device to detect AFib. AFib. It's a pocket-sized. I've got mine at home. Pocket-sized. It's shaped like a Band-Aid, basically, and small. You can put it in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag. It's amazing, and it's a pocket-sized EKG device that gives you 6 views of your heart. 6 views, not one of these. Put your finger on it and that's all thing. It's so easy to use. You can take a medical-grade EKG right in your smartphone in just 30 seconds and easily share the accurate EKG data with your doctor, with the hospital, with your wife, with your husband. It's great. This month is AFib Awareness Month, so be aware of AFib this month. It's the perfect time to manage your heart health. And for a limited time, Cardia Mobile is giving 20% off to all of my listeners. All you have to do is go to Cardia.com, Cardia.com, or you can go to Amazon and use the code 20PLANT, 20PLANTE, and you're going to get 20% off your Cardia Mobile 6L, Cardia Mobile 6L, sponsored by Alive Core Inc. An amazing device, truly is. What else do we have? We have a lot of things. Oh, and an update. My best girl and I, we saw Matt Walsh's film, Am I Racist? Ton of fun, absolutely hilarious. And we are at 888-630-9625. Joe Biden is at the United Nations, even as we speak, addressing the General Assembly angrily and squinting and spitting mad. He looks like a crazy old man. He should have a rake. They should have given him a rake to stand there with, addressing, at the green wall. I've always wanted to give a speech from there. I think that'd be fun. I'll tell him a couple of things, too. All right, let's grab a phone call, because I think Bill is back from Savannah, Georgia. Billy, you're on the Chris Plant Show. I think he's gone again. We're going to have to permanently block his number. That's completely nuts. He called back, and we're like, hey, Bill called back from Savannah, Georgia. I think he might be a Democrat. I think he could be. Might be a saboteur. That's a French word, as you might expect. That's amazing. It's funny, I was looking, I like Google Earth. Google Earth is one of my favorite toys because I like the world and going places and stuff like that. But, the beautiful, if you want to go places, a Gulfstream jet is a good way to do that. And they're made in Savannah, Georgia, at the airport there, if I'm not mistaken, at the factory. The world's greatest private jets, until you go up to airliner like President Trump with a Boeing 757. That's different. Different thing altogether. So many amazing stories. So many amazing stories. Oh, there's an update. You remember Olivia Nuzzi, the journalist who was having an affair with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the married Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but not a sexual affair. It was only an emotional affair, and she's sending, nudie, racy pictures of herself, right? And more and more keeps coming out because she was dating this Ryan Lizza guy who's a reporter, too. And now they were engaged. Now he's referring to her as his ex-fiancée. He must have seen the movies or something. Turns out she used to date Keith Olbermann, too. Really bad judgment. Now, President Trump on the campaign trail. Again, Joe Biden angrily yelling at the United Nations General Assembly, and he's talking about the poor Palestinian people. Oh, they're suffering so much. That's because they elected Hitler and the Nazis to be their leaders, and they attacked the nice people next door who are just minding their own business, and murdered and kidnapped and raped, and they're holding hostages. And Joe Biden is too stupid to be president of the United States. He honestly is. He should be yanked. There should be a hook, a big a rattan cane. See, I used rattan instead of bamboo. Cane, and yank him a little around the neck and yank him out of there at the United Nations with the green marble wall behind him. You think that's marble? The green wall behind him, it's a stone wall. Remarkable stuff. Man, oh man. That's a fact. Now, I mentioned that that my best girl and I, I'm happy to say I got, kind of at work all the time, and we're talking to nice people about going to see the Matt Walsh movie, Am I Racist?, which is playing in theaters, a bunch of theaters around Washington, D.C. Have you seen the movie yet? Not yet. But I would highly recommend going to see it, of course, because it's great. And we watched it. I've got to admit, I think, when did we start watching it? Friday night, or was it Saturday night? And we faded because we get up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we decided, and we were having technical difficulties because we're watching it at home, and I was in charge, so technical difficulties. And then the next morning we put it on and started it over again and watched it from beginning to end. And it's very low key, very, very mellow. It's a little like, it's kind of a conservative version. People are comparing it, I think, to Borat, right? With a satirical character doing satire at the expense of, in this case, idiot liberals, because they are so ubiquitous. They're everywhere, aren't they? And Matt Walsh goes from place to place, and he wears kind of a ridiculous wig with a ponytail because he went to one event, and the leftists figured out that they were being punked about halfway through when he went down the hall to go to a quiet room so he could reflect on his racism, right? And he said, and then when he came back, they're like, "We know who you are. You're not really a guilty white liberal leftist idiot like all of us." And so he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to have to dial up my fun here." So he put on a wig, and then he goes out and he talks to liberals who can't wait to feel guilty as white liberals about being racist. And I guess they are racist because they sit around and talk about how racist they are. "Yeah, I'm a racist," they like to say, because they're not very bright. But the movie is a ton of fun. Am I Racist? And he did What's a Woman, right? What's a Woman? Because we had Ketanji Brown Jackson, who's, what is a woman? She doesn't know. What am I, a biologist or something? No, but you're a woman and apparently an idiot. So we've got that going. But the movie is a great deal of fun, and I would recommend it highly. The Washington Post, which is a ridiculous front group for idiots on the left, and only on the left. They've got a story today. Matt Walsh, Am I Racist? Film produces many awkward moments. That's the headline that they have there. And they say, it's, am I racist? You should watch it. The Washington Post says you should watch it because, they think that even if you're a guilty white liberal and an idiot, you should be exposed. You should see what an idiot you are. And I'm not sure that is actually what the Washington Post is advocating here. But that's because they're a bunch of idiots, And it's I don't want to give away everything, but there's a lot of really fun and funny stuff in the movie. And they have guilty white liberals that write horrible racist things about white people. And there's a really funny one. There's a very funny, again, I don't want to give away too much, but a really funny scene where a guilty liberal who goes around calling everybody racist and it's this woman who wrote this horrible, ridiculous racist book called White Fragility that every liberal is required to read like it's Das Kapital, like it's Mein Kampf, right? And take it to heart. And it's a funny scene where he kind of very casually and in a very relaxed, mellow way shames her he brings in one of his producers who's a black guy, and the black guy sits down and he shames this idiot woman into going to her purse and getting cash money and giving it to the black guy in the room because he's black and she's white, and therefore she's guilty white racist, and it's funny. He just plays their own ridiculous game against them for laughs, and they don't realize that the laughs are at their expense, right? Which is kind of a Borat approach to many of the things that Borat has done over time. And I would recommend it very highly. I've been trying to buy the DVD, and there is no DVD. And they're like, DVD, what's that? Just stream it. Well, you stream it, and then it disappears. I prefer to buy DVDs. I like DVDs of movies that I like. And then you can show them to people. Hey, look at this. And you don't have to buy it all over again. So I like buying DVDs. But any 30-year-old will look at you and say, DVD, what's that? What you don't have it on VHS? If they know what VHS is. Pretty amazing stuff. But I would recommend the movie very highly. I honestly would. And this ridiculous Washington Post piece about the movie, that you should watch it anyway because, even though you're a guilty white liberal, the Democrat Party is so sad and they're struggling with gender and sexuality and race and culture and civilization. But they don't know. They don't know how to get out of it. And honestly, I've kind of lost interest in trying to help them because they're so ridiculous. And the Matt Walsh's "Am I Racist" documentary becomes the highest-grossing documentary of 2024. The highest-grossing documentary of 2024. And the Washington Post is actually writing that they're doing it bitterly and out of resentment. The film, the Washington Post types, a mockumentary that seeks to showcase how diversity, equity, and inclusion have become a, quote, brainwashing, end quote, scheme. They got to put that in quotation marks. Expanded to an extra 83 theaters in its second weekend, grossing over $2.5 million across 1,600 theaters. Matt Walsh celebrated the film's success on X, noting it has now grossed 3 times its production budget. I would certainly hope so. He does mention that in order to get one of these racists to sit down, they had to pay her $50,000. And he's like, well, she wouldn't talk to us until we offered her $50,000. And then she agreed to sit down because she was a victim. That's the one whose 2 children were walked by, a mascot at a theme park walked by her 2 kids who were black kids. And that became a lawsuit because there was some cell phone video. And the other Washington Post piece, you might not enjoy Am I Racist? You should watch it anyway. In the mockumentary, Matt Walsh is concerned that he's racist. Awkward moments follow. He's not really concerned that he's racist. He knows that he's not racist, but he knows that you're a bunch of idiots. See, and that's what it's all about. And Meghan McArdle wrote the piece in the Washington Post about how even if you don't like it, you should watch it. And she's a very reluctant. It's not like she's endorsing it legitimately. She's just a Washington Post reporter. And it's kind of accidentally an endorsement, accidentally, unintentionally an endorsement of the movie. She didn't mean it to come out that way. But you might not enjoy Am I Racist? You should watch it anyway. Yeah. Because it's about what an idiot you are and what your Democrat Party has done to you with your mental dwarfism. Can you say dwarfism, or do you have to say little personism? Honestly. Are they still mental midgets? I think they are. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that they are. All right, let's go to, because we haven't gotten to President Trump yet. Let's get to President Trump. Let's go to soundbite number 1, because that's where we begin with President Trump, who was in the town of Indiana, Pennsylvania. They've got a town in Pennsylvania called Indiana. They had run out of names. They had to start using the names of other states as town names. And President Trump in Indiana, Pennsylvania, talking about Kamala. He's talking about the economy, and he's going to be talking about the economy today again, President Trump on the stump. He's actually campaigning for president. Kamala is just, I don't know what she's shacking up somewhere. Here's President Trump, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Kamala's biggest tax hike of all is her vicious attack on Pennsylvania energy. You're under attack. If anybody here believes that she will let your energy industry continue like fracking, you should immediately go to a psychiatrist and have your head examined. On dozens of occasions, Kamala said that she intends to ban fracking. I'm going to ban it. I'm going to ban it.
She's going to ban fracking. But she changes her mind. But she evolves very rapidly. No one has ever evolved as rapidly as Kamala Harris. That's because she's not evolving. She's lying. See, that's the thing about her, is she's a lying Democrat Party politician. And then the media gives her a tongue bath for lying because they lied too. They're all lying and cheating, and they got Robert F. Kennedy and what's his name? Cheryl Hines is his wife, right? But Robert F. Kennedy, you say, was cheating on his ex-wife with Cheryl Hines, and then dropped his ex-wife, and then married Cheryl Hines, and now He's got this reporter lady who sends the scanty pictures and all that stuff. And so now he's cheating on his current wife, but it's non-sexual. It's just, sure it is. President Trump in Indiana, Pennsylvania, talking about the economy, what he's going to do.
No tax on tips. We will have no tax on overtime. And for our seniors, decimated by the stupidity of inflation, these people, what they did to you on inflation, we will have no tax on Social Security benefits.
No tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no. You know, it's always been completely ridiculous that you pay into the Social Security system all your adult life. Every paycheck, money goes into the Social Security system. The Democrats bankrupt it, and the Republicans too, but mostly the Democrats bankrupt it. And it's long since bankrupted. You know, it's not like they're putting our money in a lockbox and it's earning interest. And then when you go to collect your, measly $300 a month or whatever it is, then they tax you on it. So they got to hire more IRS people to tax but that's my money, and I was paying into it, and now I'm getting it back, and you're going to tax. It's like a shakedown. That's total gangsterism that they tax you on, like your VA money or your Social Security money, and they're going to tax you on it. That is just a mental issue. President Trump on Kamala.
Kamala Harris is reportedly giving a speech in Pittsburgh. You know, her speeches are very short. About her plan to, quote, build wealth. She doesn't know anything about building wealth.
That's true.
But she's been in office for 3.5 years. Kamala's ruinous economic policies have already cost the typical household $29,000 through rampant inflation. $29,000 per household. She's a one-woman economic wrecking ball.
She is a one-woman. What was that? Who's that? Wrecking ball. Yeah, it's Miley Cyrus. She's like the Miley Cyrus of politics. She's a wrecking ball. She's not on a chain though. Not on just kind of a leather leash, I think is the thing. That's what Willie Brown said, and might be pictures out there. So Kamala, she's a wrecking ball. That's who she is. And funny joke, except it's not funny, it's true.
It's no wonder that Kamala Harris was just officially endorsed by IRS agents. Do you believe it? That's when you'd say, I'd rather not have that endorsement.
And the corrupt intelligence people, the filthy, corrupt tamper in our presidential election, intelligence community people. They live in a community, and nobody wants to go there. President Trump. Oh, this is a wonderful moment. President Trump went to. I want to save this for just a moment. President Trump was in a grocery store yesterday in Pennsylvania, and a nice woman was in there shopping with her 3 kids, and President Trump threw $100, threw her a C-note, because she's buying her groceries, and she was on the television this morning. The nice lady, Jenny Kranz, and I want to share that with you too. You know, that football season is here. You may have noticed even last night there were 2 Monday night football games on. It's like there are 2 Monday nights. Kind of crazy. But football season is here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while you're watching football. The app is incredibly easy to use. You pick 2 or more players across any sport. You pick more or less on their projections, and you can win up to 100 times the money that you put down. And all the withdrawals are secure, and they're safe, and they're fast, and they're easy. Not only that, but Prize Picks is the only, listen to this now, the only daily fantasy app with injury insurance. If one of your players goes down in the first half, Prize Picks does not count it against you, doesn't count it as a loss. So download the Prize Picks app today and use the code PLANT, my last name. You're going to get $50 of credit instantly when you play $5. The code is PLANT, P-L-A-N-T-E, and that's at Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. To participate, visit prizepicks.com for details and restrictions. Yes, sir. Yeah, President Trump yesterday went into a grocery store. Nice lady whose husband is at home, 3 kids, shopping. What did Trump do? That's coming up. All right, so President Trump yesterday went into a grocery store, and he was just saying hello to people, and there was a nice woman coming through the checkout with her 3 kids, and Trump looked at her and he waved and he said hello, and he went into his pocket and grabbed a stack of hundreds, and he peeled off a C-note and gave her a $100 bill. And she said, "Oh, thank you." And it sounded like this.
Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100. We'll
Grocery
do that for
prices.
you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody.
That's it, nice. It peels off on her. Here, you groceries. She's like, "Hey, groceries sure are expensive. Here, it just went down a little bit. Go down more when I get into the White House." Now, the nice lady, and that's undoubtedly true, Jenny Kantz, K-A-N-T-Z, Jenny Kantz, was on the Fox News Channel this morning.
The fact that he handed us $100 was a complete surprise. The inflation on groceries has definitely affected us. I remember I think it was late 2022 or early 2023, I remember coming home from the grocery store and telling him, I don't even know how to budget for groceries anymore, because it's like every time I go to the store, they just go up and up and up.
With her husband sitting there, and they looked like a very nice couple, and they're smiling and happy, and they've got 3 kids at least. She had 3 at the grocery store, and she's talking about the very real. Now, where's Kamala? Where's Joe Biden? Well, today he's at the United Nations, growling at the General Assembly and muttering about the poor Hamas terrorists who are genocidal murderers who would vote in Hamas again, given half a chance. He's actually the president of the United States, believe it or not. Boy, if we had a news media, I wonder what they'd say about the situation we're in.